Okay. Looks like we're live on YouTube, on Zoom anyway. Let's see about YouTube. Yes, finally. All right. Well, it's not good morning again. It says morning on the broadcast, but it is in fact uh, afternoon. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love. Today is Monday, March the 3rd, 2025. A happy birthday to be wished to my housemate, Jasmine. She is a Pisces. And so, salutations out to her today. Really weird energy afoot for me personally. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Um, Something switched again for me personally sometime last night. Good morning, Mark. How are you? Or well, it's morning for you, I know, because you're still in a couple of hours behind me, I believe. Um, but I don't know. I don't know if it's our air quality or something. Something uh, came in late last night, and it's been wreaking havoc with me and a couple of other housemates. Um, I haven't checked in on what the sun is doing today. However, I do know that there's Wathis the Wild decided to come right out this morning. That's kind of interesting in and of itself. Um, so I don't know, and I received a strange phone call right before I went live here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. Mark said, yes, what's going on? I have no idea, but it's like ooh, I can feel, oh, and I'm being told to surrender to miracles. Let's just put it that way, because that just came right out as I started to shuffle these. And I know that miracles do happen as I have experienced them more than once my own self. Miraculous situations have occurred in my life more than once. So I do know that that's absolutely not just possible, but also because it has happened to me. So I'll take that. It says, be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. And as I said, I know that they can. I experienced a miraculous healing um, back in, I want to say 1999. Yes, it was in 1999, the fall of 1999. I was unexpectedly and quite suddenly stricken with Bell's palsy. A friend of mine urged me to get to the hospital because she thought from what I was describing to her that I was having a stroke. And of course, I went, and it turned out that it was Bell's palsy. The entire right side of my face dropped. It just, and you can still tell it, especially when I get really tired on camera. It's very easy, for me anyway, to see it. Um, so, but what was happening, after I'd gone to the emergency room, I had just started a new job and I did not want to be late or anything. So I showed up to the new job. And one of my functions was to answer the phone and speak to contractors and also um, suppliers. And, I was doing the best I could to speak to them, but, my whole tongue and everything, it was just becoming very difficult. And as the morning went on, I started having tearing in the right eye. And now I walked away from religion a long time ago, right? But these folks that I had just been hired by, the owner of the business was a pastor also. And so the moment he laid eyes on me, he shut the phones down. He called everybody in the office to come into his office, and they laid hands on me and sent me home. And before the end of that day, the right eye had stopped tearing, the muscles had gone back up, and I was like I am now. Now, that does not mean that it wasn't residual, that I had some residual, because I do, as I said. But to me, that was quite miraculous. And I also saw very clearly the power of belief. Every single being in that room, except for me, believed that they were going to heal me. And they absolutely did. And so for me, that is the power of belief and prayer, by the way, because those two things are not exclusive in any way, shape, or form, if you ask me, in my opinion. So, regardless of my own thoughts and feelings about the situation, again, I had walked and I was in no way, shape, or form anywhere near uh, what I would call today, where I've come back around to seeing things a little bit differently. Yes, I can see the control mechanism that man put into religion. However, I also saw very clearly, and I've never forgotten that, how that happened for me. So that's one miracle. The other one has to do with another member of my family who was in a horrific car accident, who died 4 times on the way to the hospital, who was told, her loved ones were told that they might as well assign her to palliative care because she would never be anything other than a vegetable. But again, none of those people believed that. And there was prayer and there was belief and a rallying and a miracle to behold in that case as well. Wow, okay. So, and here, so surrendered miracles came out, and then the very next card from the Remy deck was arise. Okay, so what are we on to here today, shall we? I mean, oh my goodness. I can't unsee what happened yesterday in yesterday's reading for me, because also in the evening time, Jasmine, the young lady to whom I had wished a happy birthday when I first started this live this morning, or just now, um, came in and was talking about her creativity. And well, that was definitely part of yesterday's reading. So let's go with the way they came out this morning. We're going to go with Duathus, the Wild, first and foremost, because I'm quite interested to know. Here's Duathus. And that is a 3 numerologically, if I've done my math correctly. 5 and 7 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. So numerologically, the 57 becomes a 3, which is all about the Trinity for me. And 57, he resides, the Luathus, the wild, resides in the challenger category of the fairies. So we always have challengers, and I don't think we pay them the homage actually that they deserve. Um, we tend to look at things that rub us the wrong way or trigger us as bad things. And I mean, I know I have always in the past felt like that was not a good thing. But actually, that is exactly in some cases what is required in order to see something about myself, in order to, especially if I get triggered, it's an immediate signal to me that there's something that I need to address, that I need to look into, as it has triggered me, you know. So, Luathus the Wild, the key words for this card are haste, impulsiveness, fire, spontaneity, and balance. Luathus the Wild is filled with fire, and fire is associated with the creative life force. This fairy fires us up, gets us going, recharges our batteries and creative energies. He likes to be around when things are exciting, when there is life force blazing high, and he can jump in and encourage it to burn even brighter. Creation and passion are his bailiwick. Faster, faster, faster is his motto. A waitress serving me breakfast looked over my shoulder as she rushed past and paused on her toes as she saw Luathus. "Oh!" she exclaimed, balancing 3 full plates and 2 coffee pots. "He looks like a bad fairy. I don't want him in my life." Then she took off at a near run for the people down the aisle who were gesturing for coffee. We have to be careful with Luathus. He doesn't know the meaning of words like slow, stop, rest, respite, catnap, moderation, gradual, pace, gentle, ease, peace. These are all things that humans must know in order to live creatively and constructively with him. Anything else is fatal. Sooner or later, and probably sooner at that, the fire of Luathus can be destructive as well as creative. Rage, fury, and anger are all part of the fire element as well. Fire burns as well as energizes. Think of the gentle warmth of a full and sleeping kitten, its inner fire converting milk to bone and muscle, and to extravagant friskiness, or the flame of a candle lighting the wanderer's way home, or the anger of a hurt soul lashing out at others, or the inferno of a forest fire, wild and overpowering. Creation and destruction are inextricably linked. The fire that burns creates ash, which in turn acts as fertilizer for new growth. The slopes of volcanoes are highly fertile, which is why people take the risk of living and farming on them. Think of the phoenix who lays her egg and then bursts into flame to incubate it. Birth, death, and rebirth are the cycle of fire. This card says that wild creative energies are being brought to whatever position it represents in the card layout. It often fires up things that surround it, represented by the other cards, energizing them as well. It tells us that it is important to think and act creatively, and it says that the energy to do so is available. New approaches are called for here. Old ideas and old behaviors will not do. Sometimes it may be useful to draw another card or to do an additional layout to get some suggestions. Alternatively, Luathis may be telling you to go for something now. For example, another member of our Oracle discussion group was at a convention and a man was demonstrating electronic devices. She was not particularly interested in them, but he and she talked about the different meters and tools for a while. She started to walk away, and then she thought, no, I've got to do this. She went back and told him, I don't think I'll ever forgive myself if I don't tell you. I think I'm in love with you. Oh my. They've been happily married for many years now. Sometimes it's important to take the risk of making a fool of yourself to gain something amazing and wonderful and miraculous. Sometimes when Luathis says, go for it now, it is important to do so, and sometimes it isn't. If the only reason for caution is that you're afraid of looking silly, it probably is time to go for it. Remember then that you need to keep an eye on Luathis. Don't let him have control of your schedule or the accelerator of your car. He always thinks going faster and taking chances is better, and sometimes he is even right. Use sense and stay grounded even while he takes you off on a flight of fancy. Now, I find that quite interesting again because of what I said before I read this card about how something changed late last night. And I still can't really put my mind on it. I can't put my finger on it. And perhaps it will be revealed to me as I move throughout today. But there has felt as for me personally, a speeding up of some sort. I think that might be part of why it's, I've been having some, reactions to the sun, heart palpitations, shortness of breath. Um, but this feels even more different than that. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that, but it is quite interesting. And he is quite the interesting fellow, don't you agree? So we'll keep that in mind as we read the next card, which I'm going to go straight to the Alchemy Elementals by Shaman Direct here. And we got water, waterfall, earth, which is a 9. It's on page 54, which is a 9 numerologically. Water, waterfall, earth. Kind of interesting too to me because it does seem a little bit in reminding me of the card we had yesterday in some ways. Not totally, but in some ways. There is a time for solitude, just as there is a time to commune with others. Your tribe is calling you to join in their revelry. Yeah, I felt like when I was seeing these two figures here that we were seeing actual light beings there. Now is the time for you to ground into collective spirit that nourishes the individual spirit. Your soul is longing to be fed by the company of others and to sink deeply into the unfolding of love's true bounty. That is true. I have missed coming here, and I have absolutely well, this has been for a long time now, missed having conscious conversations. Um, it's not a lot of folks want to come and have conscious conversations that are recorded and then shared. I guess people are too worried about looking silly, or I really don't know what that is. I really don't understand it, but that's okay. I don't have to. You know, I guess because, I, it doesn't matter to me what other people think. But then again, I've been 490 pounds, and you can't hide that. And people will think and about any you in ways that you can't control, and is really truly none of your business anyway. You know what I mean? For me, I don't know. That's just the way I look at it. Um, you see, there are many kinds of love. There is love of self and love of spirit, just as there is love of nature and love of beauty. But there is nothing quite like the love that is shared between friends and family. When we spend time with those we cherish, we amplify each other's beings in profound ways. It's not just about you, my love. Your tribe is just as well served by your time with them as you are by theirs. And I truly feel that's true, because I have been contacted, and it has been made known to me that I have been missed out here. So out in the, ethers or whatever. So partly, I guess, because I am just my authentic self, and I don't worry about what anybody thinks about me. I have opinions just like, but I also understand that everybody else does too, and they're allowed to have their opinions because we all have them. And so, it's not something that, you know, I don't know, some folks feel safe, right? Expressing their opinions, and some don't. And I get that. Okay, so this is card number 13, which numerologically is a 4, all about foundation. And it is from the Rumi Oracle, and it is arise. Wings of hope languish from lack of use. Okay, wait a minute. Were we just talking about I miss being out there, right? When wings dissipate and weaken, life begins to lose its value. Wow. Every cell in your body is created to rise to challenges. Your life is meant to confront everything that holds you captive. I think that's a true statement right there. Nobody likes to think about that. But just like I was saying about the challengers, we need those challengers. Or at least I do. And your individual mileage will absolutely vary, and I get that. But I certainly do. Don't sit at the bottom of the well, not caring about salvation. Listen to the voice within calling to you. Reach for eminence beyond your own maturity. Rumi. Mm, I like that. Why not? Okay, so I dance before you in sacred spectacle, hoping to garner your attention. I said once that I felt like a dancing bear out here, on the internet, trying to keep the attention of, I don't know, anybody, somebody. You know what I mean? So that's kind of funny. It was said of me once a long time ago that I was a heyoka, which means sacred clown. So I don't know. Look at me, I cry to your ailing spirit and despondent flesh. Look at me. If you were to look up, you would see that I am a mirror of your own being. your light, your heart, your spirit, your all. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there is a letting go taking place, and you are frightened and uncertain sometimes. But you make this mean something that it does not. It means that you are to turn your head away from what is dying. Do this gently but firmly. Turn your head toward what is living. Look at me. I will show you truth, and you shall laugh your deepest belly laughter with so much glee, sharing in my secret that the only force at work in your life is unconditionally loving divinity. I see in you a divine wild child and sacred heart. You have gumption, chutzpah, guts. You dare to love where others only see pain. You dare to believe that everything will somehow work out where others see only what they judge to be wrong. You see love where others apply fear. You seek freedom where the world still buys into manipulation and propaganda. Boy, ain't that a true statement. Don't lose heart, beloved wild child. Dare to believe. You are right to do so. It is the divine rebel in you that refuses to surrender hope. Give up the fight. Perhaps the battle in your heart, that optimism and wait a minute. I think I might have skipped a beat there. Hold on a second. That I is doing the whole imbalance thing again. Uh, don't lose heart, beloved wild child. Dare to believe. You are right to do so. It is the divine rebel in you that refuses to surrender hope. Give up the fight, perhaps the battle that comes from a place of fear, but never give up your hope. That hope in your heart, that optimism and patience for growth into love creates a light within you that helps the world see through darkness. It becomes a candle that shimmers contentedly upon the windowsill of your heart temple. There it is, more obvious even in the darkness. The stars do appear to shine brighter at night, beloved, but don't become consumed by your nightmares. They will pass with the coming dawn. You'll see. Don't give them too much stock. Instead, put your attention towards that defiant candle of hope that burns, as is its nature and purpose within you. Can you sense its warmth, even in the presence of cold fear? Ah, it shall warm you now, and if not, then I come to remind you, you are a blazing angel. You are filled with holy fire, and you will prevail. Oh, the joy of you, the expanse of you. You fill my own heart with your magnificent essence. I see and know the great beloved in you. There, the great beloved is looking out at me from behind your eyes. I see the candlelight of your heart temple flicker within your gaze. That is what the candle of hope honors, the workings of the great beloved, so creative and crazed with love for you that all circumstances of your life, down to the tiniest detail, are evoked out of love. Love out of passionate desire takes you from despair into hope, from holding on to letting go, from turning away to opening up. So the great beloved takes you across the moonlit ocean into the temple of the cosmic heart. Here, an eternal flame burns bright with hope. igniting the light within the hearts of all of humanity. You are being asked to trust, to gently lay to rest the suffering that has been, perhaps because of what you have labeled as the failure, the doubt, the losses, and setbacks. Man, I told y'all, I can very clearly see in my life, and I hope that you can too, if you allow yourself a little hindsight to look back at a few things. I can see where I have had a tendency to label things as horrific or bad or whatever when they were actually the best things that could have ever happened to me. They are so little in the greater scheme of you. Put them aside. Allow them to rot and become fertilizer for life. But do not try to keep them alive beyond their earthly expiry date, lest you become tainted or poisoned by the rot. Let them go and instead focus on what is alive now. Mark said, I'm almost having a problem staying in body today. Something is going on with the earth's energies. Wow, okay. Well, see, I told you there's something different going on. I don't know what it is. But my housemate Lisa, she said the same thing. Not exactly what you just said, but her words were she felt wonky. So, can you sense that before you is a great being of light, a greater pathway opening up? This is truth, blazing angel. This is truth. Take the step. So easy is it when the light of the heart is felt within, reminding you of your own divine nature. The world is here for you to experience so that you may realize divinity in its majesty, mystery, and love. More so than ever, all serves that sacred purpose. So embrace it. Find your faith. Be at peace. Know that no matter what appears to be, all is well. You are so loved, it cannot even begin to be translated sufficiently into words, but it can be transmitted from my heart to yours. Just as the sun catches the dried tinder and sets it aflame, this oracle comes with a message for you. Arise. You have been downtrodden for long enough now. Perhaps you have been feeling defeated, put upon, underestimated, or walked over in mind, body, or spirit by others or your own doubts and fears. Enough now. You are liberated through the hope in your heart, the defiant optimism that buoys your spirit and demands that you shall have your dawn. You shall rise like the sun and begin anew now. Step up. It is your time. Wow. Well, that's been a heck of a reading today, I would say, wouldn't you? I mean, my goodness. Expect miracles. We have because the tribe is waiting and it's time to arise, even though there are challengers afoot. And like I said, challengers are often mislabeled. I think they are blessings in disguise. At least that's what the way I now view them. And I keep hearing the universe cards said that they wanted to be included, and I haven't done that in the last, well, really since I came back. So we shall rectify that right now. These cards are so new and stiff. Oh, is it this one? Okay. Give yourself much more credit. A stranger than strange preponderance to ponder. Those in great relationships aren't always those who are good at relationships. And those in challenging relationships aren't always those who are bad at relationships. Oh, see? Wow. Even though I used preponderance ineptly, this one is really good. Please ponder the universe. Wow. Okay. Give yourself much more credit. That's true. We don't give ourselves enough credit. At least I sure haven't. Most of my life I have felt less than everybody else around me. Because I wasn't as pretty as everybody else, or I wasn't as thin as everybody else. And because I wasn't as pretty or as thin, and I got so many people would just um, discount me and who I was, especially in my professional career. I always ended up having to start at the bottom all over again, especially in the corporate world, partly because I also refused to play their corporate games too, and show my worth from the bottom up every single time until I just wasn't able to do the corporate jobs anymore, because I became disabled. So, but, I'm sure that's part of it. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. I hope there was something here for you today. I know there certainly was quite a bit here for me today. And I'm so glad that I decided I do have some errands I have to go out and run, but I said, I'm going to go do a live. I know I'll be later than I normally am. Again, I would like to do an intuitive hangout session. I cannot promise that that would be tonight. So if you ever do wish to participate in those, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that you've got that notification bell clicked so that you are notified when I upload and or go live if you want to participate, because as you can see, me trying to tell you I'm going to show up has not really worked out because I feel all great in the moment, going to do it, promise, I promise, I promise. And then when it gets down to it, I just cannot force it out of myself. When you're ready for bed at 7 o'clock, because the energy is just taking it right out of you. Well, part of it too is still trying to get in here. As you can see behind me here, there's had to been some more rearranging going on in this room. So, and none of this stuff is real easy to move around. And I do it all on my own. So, um, I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. For me, it really is just a matter of perspective and the perception of that perspective that I'm holding in that moment. And so, if I give myself a few moments, if I step out of that perspective, if I'm not at all joyous about whatever it is that's occurring in my field, if I just give myself a moment or two and try to see it from a different angle, um, I can always find a different way to look at it and approach it actually that brings me a higher joy. May not be the perfect joy, but it's definitely a higher joy than the way I was thinking about it 5 minutes ago, if you understand what I'm speaking to there. Okay, that's it. Mwah. Until we meet again, I hope that you will be